Well, I may ruffle a few feathers, or I guess rattle a few bones, as it were, but does it feel like being quote unquote witchy or spiritual is kind of a trend these days and that everyone seems to be jumping on it? I think I have some feelings, y'all. Welcome back to Soulful Wonderings, the space where we search for meaning in everyday life and honor the lessons that help us grow. I'm Heather and I'm your host. But before we get started, we would love it if you would subscribe to our podcast. It really helps us out. And you can also head over to our socials and follow us there. All that will be in the show notes. And also a quick reminder about our Healing Lens email series. So through my lens, I capture images and stories that become prompts for your own healing journey. You can sign up to receive the emails, through our website, which is soulfulwonderings.com, and I will put that in the show notes as well. So we are fully into October, and this is the time of year that witch hats and tarot cards and crystals and candles and really you name it, they seem to show up everywhere, and I do mean everywhere. I feel like every store I walk into has something Halloween themed for sale, right? And here's the truth. Halloween, it kind of brings a playful side of mystery and magic, but it's also sparked a question in me that I've been reflecting on a lot lately. Are we really exploring spirituality or something else? Or are we playing with the trend? Now, hear me. I'm not here to call out anyone or to take away the fun of the season, all right? It's a great time. Nobody's talking about that. But I do want to peel back kind of these layers of what it means to be spiritual or witchy, and why those two things aren't always the same. Now, my dear friend Google, help me out here. By definition, a witch is a person, often a woman, but not always a woman, believed to practice magic, sometimes in a religious context like Wicca or other pagan traditions. Now, spirituality, on the other hand, is a personal journey. It's an exploration of meaning, purpose, and connection to something greater than ourselves. It might involve meditation, mindfulness, or rituals, but it doesn't require a label. Now, sure, sometimes there's overlap in these practices. People use crystals and cards and herbs or rituals in both, but I don't know that they're interchangeable. I mean, really, to me, they're not. For example, the research I've done indicates that my ancestors were once labeled witches, and it's not because they were casting spells or anything like that, but it was because they were healers and they used herbs and natural remedies to help the people in their villages. And of course, in their time, that was enough to earn the label of witch. I think we've heard that many times, haven't we? I hear that story all the time. So fast forward to today, I think I have a pretty good example. We were set up for trick or treat, and this was last year, year before last, I'm not sure. And we always have a great time, okay? The kids, oh my gosh, the kids are always so sweet and they're so cute. I love seeing their costumes and, what everybody decided to do or what they're into this year. And we often have some teenagers come by to trick or treat, which I think is great. Sometimes they're looking out for a younger sibling, or sometimes they just want to trick or treat, which, like I said, I think is great. And we love to see the teenagers come by. But one year we had a couple, I think they were a couple, boy and a girl, and I can't remember what she said exactly, but she basically alluded to loving this time of year and that it was because she was into the witchy part of it, right? And I kind of got this sense, you kind of read people right away, and I kind of got a sense that she was probably dabbling in some stuff. Maybe it was just for fun. More likely, it was an effort to be cool, and quite frankly, I think she was trying to be a badass, you know. Um, and I suspect, especially, um, she was trying to look that way to an adult, you know. Um, Little did she know what adult I was. But I digress. It just reminded me how casually we sometimes throw words around without understanding the depth behind them. And I feel like I want to offer caution, maybe. I feel like that's what this is. I'm really struggling with the words to explain how I feel about this. I admit that this trend, the seeming trend, it partially bothers me, but it's also a little bit disturbing. Um, it it makes me pause. It makes me feel a little concerned, I think, because words and rituals carry meaning, and there are many practices that are deeply healing, and there are people that are doing light work. You know, I feel like I'm one of those people. But there are others that can be heavy, and truthfully, they can even be harmful, especially if you dive into that with knowledge. Look, curiosity is beautiful. Y'all know I love that. I love curiosity. But curiosity without respect can get you into waters that you may not be prepared to swim in. Okay, so I have a point, I promise. You don't need to call yourself a witch to have a spiritual practice. You know, you don't need to copy what's trendy on Instagram to have a meaningful connection to spirit, source, for me, creator, or whatever it is that you believe in. You know, you can follow a witchy path if that's your choice, but I implore you to do it with knowledge, because really any path you choose should be done with respect, with knowledge, with a willingness to learn. And the reality is everyone's path is going to be different. Everyone's going to be drawn to different things. But I encourage you to be open-minded, to be willing to hear and truly hear, not, you know, listen with your ears to other people and what they have to say. And don't be so quick to dismiss. But I've seen a lot of people that dive off into things, and doing rituals and things that they don't understand, and they don't really know exactly what they're doing. And I just feel like that, I just want to caution you on doing that. I also encourage you to find someone you can work with. Maybe find mentors, find people that you trust, create a circle of people that you trust, that you can ask questions of, and that you can all grow together. Because again, I know a lot of spiritual people that aren't necessarily witchy. I know some witchy people, Wiccans and things like that, that they are very much, they have a spiritual journey as well. I think there are things within the practices that at least feel like they sort of overlap, but some of that may just be title or label in what you're doing, like a ritual. You know, a lot of people do rituals. There's rituals in the Christian church, so a ritual is not always a good description or a good thing to judge something on. Let's put it that way. If someone says they're doing a ritual, that can mean a lot of things. So what my point is to really, just like I said, be open-minded, be curious, and really explore what interests you, and be willing to say no to things that don't feel right. If your gut feeling says, that doesn't feel good, that feels dark, that feels whatever, then you know what? Walk away from it. Because the truth is, the real magic is in discovering your path, is determining your values, your truth. What rituals bring you peace and alignment? That's what's going to make your journey very powerful. and it doesn't need a label. So if you're feeling curious this season, I want to leave you with a few questions that I encourage you to really reflect on and do work on if you're led to it. And first, that is, why am I drawn to this practice, to this label, to this symbol? Really look at why you feel drawn to these things. Maybe it's just because it looks fun or it's cute, um, especially for symbols and things like that. But why? Is there something else going on? And really understand that. It's kind of I think you should be able to defend it in a lot of ways. Do you know if that makes sense? Do you know what I mean by that? Know what your thoughts are. Second, what intention am I bringing to this? Am I curious? Am I trying to heal? Am I looking for an identity? Or maybe it's just some fun. Okay? Why are you here? What is it that you're wanting to do? If I just like Halloween because I think it's fun. Cool. That is awesome. Enjoy it. I'm serious. Enjoy it. Well, I'm curious. I've always wanted to know about these things. I've just wanted to learn a little bit. That's awesome too. You're looking to heal some things. Identity's a big one though. Why do you feel like you identify with this? Again, figure out that the deeper meaning. And 3, how can I honor both my own path and the traditions or beliefs of others as I explore? And that kind of goes back to that, learn and explore and do, but, make sure you're being respectful. Because you may see this as kind of a lighthearted, I'm a witch for Halloween, but there are other people that, they're Wiccans, they're whatever, and this is important to them. This is a big deal to them. So, we want to respect that. We want to respect other people's beliefs and other people's ideas. Halloween, it can be a great time to play. It can be a great time to express yourself, to just dress up as someone completely different, something you would never do, or someone you really respect or something like that. It's a great way to express yourself. It's such a great time to just enjoy yourself and just have a good time, right? Put on the costume, light the candle, savor the memory, but also remember, words matter, actions matter, and energy matters. So be curious, be respectful, and most of all, be true to yourself. Thanks for listening today. I hope this episode resonated with you. If it did, maybe subscribe or share it with a friend. Don't forget to sign up for the Healing Lens emails. You can do that on the website. And until next time, honor your path, protect your energy, and remember, you are never alone on this journey.